Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to jump into a tubeless setup. So if you got a new bike or maybe you're looking to go tubeless for the first time, if you have tubeless ready rims, there's probably a tube in there. This tire already pulled it out, but I figured we'd walk through real quick on how to do it. It's a simple process, so give it a shot. We've got the WTB latex sealant here, and this is a stand flow rim. It came off of our demo bike, the JMIS Portal. We're just getting it set up. The JMIS Portal A2 comes with stand flow rims, and we're going to put Muc-off valve stems on. Muc-off's really cool. I've already got this tire opened up. I pulled the tube out, so we'll jump right to it. First things first, these Muc-off valve stems, they come with some different options. So depending on what you're using, like I like to use this one, the squared off one for the stand flow rim. Just seems to work really well. So I'll go ahead and swap that. Super easy. You're going to need valve stems if you're doing a tubeless setup for the first time. Get some good sealant. Stan's Race sealant's great. People love that. Orange seal, or we use WTB here in the shop. But as you can see, that slid right off. So I can put my new adapter on. It's just going to seal to the rim a little bit better. You can look at your rim shape and then see which plug, seems like it would work best, and boom, use that one. Try not to use the one that does not fit the best. The one that's on their stock is fine too, but if you want a little bit closer fit, you can do that. So that rubber gasket's going to go on first, and then we're going to have the nut. And what I like to do with these, when I'm putting on my valve stem, you want to apply pressure from the back. So to tighten your valve stem, stick your thumb or your finger here on the back. Once you get everything lined up, stick it on the back. And then, so I've got my thumb pushing down as I'm tightening this. So do that to make sure it's tight enough. Don't bust out pliers. We see all the time bikes will come in. People are like, yeah, it's leaking around the valve stem. Well, A, that probably means your tape's messed up somewhere. It's actually probably not the valve stem. But you can always push your tire on the back of your valve stem and tighten it down. But applying that back pressure, then snugging it will make it plenty tight enough. No reason to ever bust out tools or anything on your rim. If you have something that's tight and it's hard to get off, do the same thing. Push down with your thumb on the back of that valve stem to loosen it. So easy peasy. We'll put this hung back up. I'm going to hang my valve stem down toward the bottom. Now, if you guys watch any of our tire videos, you always want to start with the valve stem up against your belly button when you put on tires. So I'm going to start on the opposite side of my valve stem. And I'm going to get this on until it's kind of tight to where it wants to sit a little bit. With my cap in there. And then we're going to take our sealant. You always need to shake this stuff up. And this is a 29-inch tire by 2.4, so it's probably going to take about 4 ounces. We've got a 16-ounce bottle here. Now when I fill, I try to go about 5 spokes. So I want my sealant when this tire's just kind of sitting doing its thing. I want to go about 4 or 5 spokes. That's to ensure I always have enough without going too crazy with it. Let's see, I'm just over 4 ounces and I'm right at about 4 spokes. So again, 4 to 5 spokes will give me 4 to 6 ounces. This is a new setup, so I'm going to go 5 spokes on it. So again, that put us right where we need to be. Yeah, I'm probably closer to 7 ounces that I put in, but it's all right. I like to do a little bit overkill on sealant. If you do have a problem, it'll help out. So just going to slap this guy on, and I'm going to put it on a little bit tighter till I get almost there. And then I'm going to spin the tire around and pop it on. Oh my goodness. I was hoping that would be difficult. It never seems to be whenever we record these videos. It's always, the tire just slides right on. It's the magic of production. I should just turn on cameras every time I try to seat a tire. Linda's gonna hate this. I better get away from Linda, we're making a mess. So this is a new Park Tool inflator. Alright, well at least we're having a problem here. So my tire's kind of spitting all over the place. So I'm going to help it out a little bit. Kind of pull that tire out towards the bead a bit. Kind of cheat the system. So you can push down on the middle of the tire and pull out on the outside. And that'll help get you on your outer bead. Maybe a little bit more. I'm going to go back trying to get that tire on. There we go. I did get to show you guys a little bit of a trick. Alright, when we fill the tire, I like to go up to 30 psi, let it sit overnight like that. This is going to make sure everything kind of holds together while the tire is fully seated all the way around. Again, everything went perfect and beautiful because I'm recording. Even this is the time I would actually like it to go badly. But boom, there you go. Easy. You can remove that flector if you're mountain biking, but yeah, put it at 30 psi, then you can kind of spin that sealant, swish that sealant around. We'll go ahead and put this in the bike in. This is a Jamis Portal A2. It's $37.99. It's got 3VO suspension on it. Really cool. 3VO suspension is super stable, stiff when you're pedaling uphill, and then it's got just an amazing leverage ratio once you get rolling downhill. The instant center makes you feel really stable on your pedals. And then it's cool that this bike comes with nice, strong stance flow rims. Shimano hub, so reliability is key with this guy, something you can maintain and take care of easily. Torque specs on your rear axle, I've already greased that, but we want to make sure we're hitting 10 Newton meters. And we are there. And I'll go ahead and do the other tire just so we can stretch this video out a little bit further for you guys. Maybe we'll be lucky and I will run into a problem with it. We shall see. So this tire's still got the tube in it, which I guess is a good time for me to show you how that's going to work. I've lost my Muc-off cap. I just threw it at Linda. But yeah, this is the teal version. Muc-off's really nice. These are going to be Cush Core compatible. So these have, you can see those lines there. That allows for you to run Cush Core and the air can still get around it. Typical valve stems are just going to have a hole in the bottom. It's not going to have these little kind of slots or whatever it may be. By having the slots, they're compatible with Cush Core or any other tubeless system, tubeless insert system that you're running. That's nice. That's a plus. I like to remove valve cores on tubes. It gets air out faster. That way you don't have to mess around. This Portal is a great looking bike. They call it Storm Gray. It's 130 mil 29er with that 3VO suspension, instant center virtual pivot. I mean, it is an insanely cool bike. Box 34 on the front, DPS on the rear, 12-speed Shimano. But anyhow, when I'm taking a tube off of a tire, I'm going to break the bead. I'm going to break it all the way around on just the one side. And then I'm going to grab a tire lever. Now, technically, guys, tubeless ready rims, you're not supposed to use tire levers whatsoever, but I do because just on the removal process. So I'll peel that tire back after I broke the bead all the way around. and then I can get my lever in there. And being very careful, I'll get it off. I never use a tire lever whether I'm installing a tube or tubeless when I'm trying to put stuff back on. All you're going to do is pop your tube, or you're going to damage your tape, and then it's going to be leaking around your valve stem. Then you're going to bust out a set of pliers, try to tighten this nut up, and you'll remember, oh yeah, Adam said don't do that. Just stick your thumb on the back, push down, then you can tighten your nut up plenty. But anyhow, that's how that tube comes out, nice and easy. Now that the air's out, I'll go ahead and reinsert my valve core so it doesn't get lost. Slide our ring back on the tube. We'll set that aside for folding up later. Maybe that should be a whole video. That'll fold the tube. Linda, would you be interested in that? So again, another tire, obviously. I'm going to put up my stand, make my life easier. Find our valve stem again. A valve stem is going to have a cap on it, like this. These Muc-off ones are really nice. Removable valve core, that can be changed at any time. So I'm going to screw that off, and then we've got that little rubber grommet on there as well. And pull that guy off. Now we're ready to go. I already swapped out the inserts on this one. So again, I like this kind of fatter one for the stand flow rims. They seem to fit really well. So awkward trying to do things on camera. So I'm going to put my little gasket on first. And that gasket isn't responsible for, sealing any air in. That gasket's responsible, ideally, for just not letting moisture in my opinion. All right, guys. So I drop sealant all over the ground. So yeah, this is all right, so this is an important thing to note. I'm going to go ahead and unseat this other side too. That's why I did it on the other wheel. So you'll see on this tire, this is not lined up properly. So we have our valve stem here, but our logo is up here. We absolutely don't want that. If you're installing like a hybrid bike tire or something, I like to put tire pressures by the valve stem because it makes it easier for our customer. But for mountain bikes, you don't want people to laugh at you and make fun of you. Then you need to get that in the right spot. Oh, it's not coming. All right, I'll just take the tire off. So stand slow rim, and you guys can see now that I got this off, how nicely that Muc-off stem sits in there. You can see the channels. So I really like that. It's a stands flow rim. Really nice stuff. So anyway, when you're installing a tire, line your tire up with your valve stem. Don't be a fool. With this one, normally I would line it up right in the middle of the brand logo name. But on this guy, because we do have a lot of different writing, I'm actually going to go right between the Mazda to really set that up nicely. So when I'm putting on my first speed, it doesn't really matter where I start, to be honest. Probably on this tire, it's going to go on nice and easy. Came off fairly easy. But there we go there. Everything's lined up nicely. Right on the Z, right in the middle of those logos. Now I look pro. People won't judge me. I'm going to put my valve stem down at the bottom. I don't know why, it's just what I always do. And that's the thing, like if you're working on a bike, we probably have gone over our bars a lot of times. So I always find, like, if you're doing any type of work or maintenance to your bike, do it the same every single time. That way you won't forget things. So we tell our techs here at the shop. So between 4 and 5. And again, this was a 16-ounce bottle, maybe 6 ounce for a new setup every time. This says for a mountain bike, 2.6 inch, 4 to 6 ounces. So yeah, it's a 29er again, new setup. So it's good to go a little bit extra. There's nothing to really coat that. So once I get my sealant in, I'm going to turn the tire. So all the sealant goes down to the bottom before I attempt splashing myself in the face. And again, when I'm putting on a tire, I'm going to start away, or I'm going to put the valve stem at my belly button. I'm going to start away and work my way towards the valve stem. So that way, in case things get tight, like they did right there, now I can reach back away, can push this tire down into my valves, or down into the deepest part of the rim towards the middle, and then this guy will go from being tight to just popping right on nice and easy. So pretty cool. We'll see if this one just wants to pop right on or if I'm going to have to deal with another mess. This guy's filling up. Here comes the boom. It scares me every time. Absolutely love these gray tires on the Mazda. They feel really nice too. I think very similar pattern to like a DHR, but the side knobs aren't as like eld off. So I think it's really nice. I like it. So it feels a little bit faster, a little bit more nimble than maybe a Minion would, but you still have that you kind of still feel that same braking control thanks to the center knob. So pretty cool bike. Really like the Jamis Portal. It's a 130 mil travel bike from Jamis with 3VO suspension. I didn't grease that axle very good. Anytime you guys are changing your wheels, check your axles, make sure they're greased well. Don't want to have to cut an axle out of your bike. We've done it. We've had to do it more times than we should have to for customers. But yeah, anytime you're in there, make sure it's cleaned up and greased. This is a new bike, so I'm just putting grease on. But if this was a bike that had been ridden, I would wipe it off and then re-grease it. Make sure your tire's not on backwards too when you put it on. Like the tire itself onto the wheel. You'll have to redo this whole process, which is good for practice, but. Alright guys, well that's it. Now you know how to convert your bike to tubeless. Get some sealant, get some valve stems, go home, get an air compressor, get that thing seated on the bead, and then come test ride a Jamis Portal. See you guys. Subscribe.